everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Kathleen Hart here from the Little Piece of Heart blog. We're back in the kitchen, and today I'm going to whip up a really quick and easy alternative to just boring old scrambled eggs. These are going to be my cheesesteak scrambled eggs. They are so good. Jay loves them, and the recipe was actually born because I had extra London broil in the fridge, just like lunch meat that I bought at the store, and I only had a little bit left, and I'm like, what can I do with this? An amazing recipe was born, and now all of you guys get to benefit, which is amazing. Let me just take you over some of the ingredients. They are super, super simple. It's gonna be an egg scramble with some of these ingredients, and then I actually whipped up a nice little spicy ketchup to go on the side, and it complements these eggs so well. And it's kind of like a cool alternative to an actual cheesesteak, which is not low carb because of the bread. So this is a great addition you can add to your breakfast table. Come on down and take a look. First, we are going to need some butter, which is going to go in our pan. That's what we're going to be sauteing everything in. I have a little bit of white onion here, sliced thin, really thin. And I left it in kind of like half moon shapes. Same thing with my green bell pepper. I'm using green today because I feel like that's like a signature in a cheesesteak, so I'm going to leave it green. You can obviously do any color bell pepper that you enjoy. And I sliced them also pretty thin at the same time. And then I have my London broil here. Now this is just sliced deli meat. If your store doesn't have London broil, grab yourself some roast beef. It's the same thing. You will be able to get the same exact flavors. And then we have here, I'm using white American because that is what I would prefer on my cheesesteaks if I was gonna eat one. You can use any kind of cheese that you like, provolone, cheddar, Swiss, whatever. Spices, I have a little bit of garlic powder because, come on guys, it's me. You know I have to add a little bit of savory garlic to almost everything. And then I just have a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. To this, we're going to be scrambling 2 eggs and a tablespoon of half and half. That's going to be obviously the egg part. And then in this bowl here is what I'm going to be making my spicy ketchup with. I have some low sugar ketchup here, some mayonnaise here, and then some sriracha. Great combination. That's going to be amazing, just as a little bit of a dipper, because you guys know I love my condiments, love them. First things first, I'm going to get this going because I want all of these flavors to really mix together and, you know, form this amazing sauce. It's going to be a nice light pink color, and it's literally not too spicy. It's also not, you know, too ketchup-y either. It's a great combination. I feel like this amount of each of these ingredients really, really does good. And then, like I said, in all of my other recipes, if you find that you want to try this, but you're not a fan of sriracha, it's too spicy, add a little bit less, add more ketchup, add more mayo, play around with it until you get the flavors that you like. All right, give it a little taste. Perfect. A little hit of heat at the end. Otherwise, it's great. So put this aside, and now let's get our egg mixed with our half and half. 2 eggs here, cracked open, tablespoon of half and half. And we are just going to whisk these gently with a fork until they are all combined. Now that I have everything ready on my cutting board, let's go over to the stove and put this all together. You're going to start off by putting your pat of butter into a non-stick skillet. This is my favorite skillet to use for eggs. You're going to let this melt over, I would say, about medium-high heat, but you are going to have to adjust your heat later on in this prep for the recipe. Butter is all melted, and now we're ready to add in our onion. This is where you really want to cook the onion. I like to get crispy brown onion in this, so I like to actually mix this around on medium-high heat for a couple minutes, probably about 2 or 3 minutes, just until the onions get a nice crispy texture and they turn a nice golden brown color. Perfect. Those onions look exactly how I like them to. Next, we're gonna add in the green bell pepper and stir this around. Now, what you have to remember is this is the only time these veggies are actually gonna get color on them and soften and get cooked. Once we add the egg in, it's going to pretty much stop the cooking process and just warm the egg through. So you really wanna get a good color and really saute these veggies well. So next, I'm gonna start adding in my London broil, and I like to break this up with my fingers as I'm adding it in just to create a little bit smaller bite-sized pieces. But once you add all of that in, you wanna give it a nice, good mix and cook this and warm it up through. Then we're gonna add in the spices, the garlic powder, the salt, and the pepper, and give this a nice mix just to coat everything. Don't leave any garlic powder behind. And we wanna go in with our egg. Give it one last little whisk with my fork and pour it right on in there. My favorite tool to use when I'm cooking eggs is use a spatula. It makes everything so much easier, especially with the nonstick skillet. At this point, I still like to keep my heat up really high. I'm not one of those low and slow egg kind of people. That's just not me. So what I like to do is keep my heat up high right now, cook the eggs, and it will cook in a matter of seconds, literally. So you just want to keep on stirring everything so that all of the eggs incorporate and touch every single other ingredient and everything cooks evenly. Now you make everything into a nice even layer, and then we're gonna go on with my favorite part, the cheese. So you wanna take your cheese and break it into kind of a little bit smaller pieces and just scatter it right on top in a thin layer. And now what I like to do is turn the heat down and then cover it either with a lid for your skillet or a splatter guard. This will help keep all the steam in, melt your cheese, keep everything warm, but then again, we're gonna be ready to eat in a matter of seconds with the help from the lid or the splatter guard. Just adding a little bit extra of my sauce right on here. This is so amazing just to have on the side as a condiment. It is perfect. A little bit of sweet from the ketchup, a little bit of spice from the sriracha, creaminess from the mayo. Perfect. It will be the perfect little condiment. Let's go in. So I'm not gonna wait any longer for this, so I'm just gonna go right in. Give a little dip here. Amazing. Doesn't really get any better than that, especially when you wanna switch up your boring, cheesy, scrambled egg routine. I don't think so. Don't knock American. This cheese is perfect on here. It melts so evenly, and it's so creamy. This is amazing. You need to make this recipe. If you want to get the full recipe with all the ingredients and the measurements, click on the link below. As always, if you want to sub out ingredients, whatever your heart desires, just make sure you take the carb counts into account and you'll be good to go. Switch up your breakfast routine with this recipe and many of my others. I'll put the link below to a couple of my other recipes as well as my blog if you guys want to check some more out. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like this recipe. Subscribe to my channel. I am going to be here sharing recipes, tips, tricks, everything I can think of to help you guys survive in a low-carb lifestyle. I will see you next time. Happy cooking. Have a wonderful day.